If this story touched your heart, please don't forget to like and subscribe to my story. Your support helps us continue sharing hidden tales of love and loss. Let's build a community where every broken heart finds a voice. Thank you for being part of this journey. She called, and there it was, her car parked right in front of his apartment. He went home, and without a second thought, began to gather all of her belongings into boxes. In the quiet of the night, I found myself avoiding her gaze, burdened by the weight of memories. With each item I packed into my truck, I felt the echoes of our shared moments linger in the air. What was happening to us? Everyone? Wishing everyone is wrapped in warmth and joy. Wishing everyone is basking in joy and warmth. Once again, we find ourselves entwined in the pages of a new tale. As you've already glimpsed the title, let's dive into the heart of the narrative together. In a moment that felt like a bittersweet chapter, I found myself standing at a crossroads. With a heavy heart, I made the decision to send her away, and now I seek guidance. He reaches out, sharing his thoughts. Hey everyone, this is my secret account. I'm a 31-year-old man, just a few days after parting ways with Lila, my 30-year-old girlfriend, leaving her behind. I find myself not heartbroken, but rather relieved. We shared 2 years together, and I was seriously considering a ring, believing we had a strong connection. There were no major issues to speak of. What truly captivates me is how mistaken I was in understanding her. She was the kind of person you dream of marrying. In the quiet moments of our shared life, I realized that the lesson whispered to me was to cherish every box she brought into my world when she moved in 5 months ago. In a tale of 2 lives intertwined, I found myself the owner of a house that she called home, a space where memories danced and dreams whispered softly in the corners. We were seeing it as a path to secure our future together. I felt a flutter of nerves, yet was pleasantly surprised by the way we connected, drawing us closer. However, over the past month, this vital part of my life had begun to act differently. Her phone seemed to consume her attention, leaving her inattentive, short, and moody. In the quiet embrace of my home, I found myself tethered to my work, longing for the outside world. In the quiet moments of my mind, I found myself questioning her every move, wondering if my heart was merely playing tricks on me. That nagging feeling wouldn't let go, whispering doubts that danced around the edges of my thoughts. I reached out, seeking reassurance, asking if all was well, hoping to find solace in her words. She would assure me that everything was fine. Yet, in the quiet moments between work calls, I found myself scrolling through Facebook and Instagram, my heart racing at the sight of a certain guy from her workplace. There was something about the way he interacted with her posts that stirred a sense of unease within me. With a bit of digging, I uncovered where he lived, and the thought crossed my mind to drive by if she ever called to say she was working late. Then, the call came, and my heart sank in a whirlwind of emotions. I found myself lost, consumed by pain and sadness. I returned home, my mind racing, and without a second thought, I began to gather her belongings. The urge to distance myself overwhelmed me. I packed my truck to the brim, her things spilling over, even into the driver's seat. With a heavy heart, I took her garage remote and left her car keys alongside a note that whispered a bittersweet farewell. Have a nice life. Don't accept breach of trust. Who's fierce? I secured my home and turned to my family, cutting her off from my life completely. It felt liberating. I visited the house today to collect the mail, and there it was, a letter on the door, claiming this wasn't what I believed, filled with words about my maturity in handling situations, and so on. Oh, yes, she will, for you never truly witnessed their connection unfold. In the silence, there were no words exchanged. Oh, she's weaving tales with a smile, painting a picture that's not quite true. It's not what you imagine, we were simply sharing whispers over tea, lost in the quiet of the night. At least she is finding solace with a dear friend, as the whispers of guidance suggest. What should come next in this unfolding tale? It's hard to fathom the truth when she spun a tale of working late. You see, don't let your heart be swayed by her words. Don't let yourself be swept away. You know the reasons. I've reached my limit with my parents, and tomorrow, I'm returning home. I sense she'll keep returning, and I wonder if I've lost my mind. Allow me to share my thoughts completely. No, you haven't lost your sanity. Don't believe that being confined at home, like so many of us had to be for a time, defines your reality. You were simply in her presence more, and that's when you began to see the little things, the nuances that had escaped you before when you were often away. You took the time to explore your feelings, didn't you? But here's the thing, I don't care. Let's say this guy is just some guy she had tea with. She lied to you, and that's a no-no. You'll never trust her again. Think about it. What if you let her come back, you both move back in together, and you try to move on with your relationship? And she's sharing her heart with you. Oh, my heart, we didn't share many moments. Our moments together were filled with silence, a quiet understanding that spoke volumes without the need for action. We just shared a moment watching a movie, sipping on some peppermint tea. It's a memory that will linger in your thoughts, isn't it? It seems she may not be truthful about the investigation ahead. Perhaps it's best to let it go. That's an overwhelming amount of your time, surrendering to something as deceptive as her words. She's weaving a tale, and deep down, you sense the truth of her actions. Though the details remain veiled in uncertainty, the very act of dishonesty speaks volumes. You did nothing wrong, your heart is not unhinged. She will persist in her fabrications unless that other man steps forward, declaring his love for her, shattering the illusion. Only then might the truth emerge, yet even then, she may cling to her story, insisting he's the one who lies. But with each passing moment apart, the distance only deepens the uncertainty between you two. I can assure you, she likely finds her way to that guy. Their connection blossomed even while she was with you, and it's evident why the truth seems to elude her. In the quiet of the night, I find myself tethered to my work, while she dances in the warmth of another's embrace. It feels like an unexpected turn of fate, a tale woven with dishonesty. She whispered sweet nothings, but now the truth hangs heavy in the air. You stood your ground, unwavering and true, and there's nothing wrong with that. Here's to your strength. As I delve into the thoughts of others, one voice rises above the rest, praising your clarity. You didn't lose yourself in the turbulence, instead, you acted with a courage many would envy. Trusting your instincts is a love story in itself, one that deserves to be celebrated. Without a doubt, without a doubt. I'm so happy he took that leap for you. Don't doubt your heart, for in the embrace of love, the desire for forever blooms beautifully. She clearly didn't share the same feelings, and you find yourself convincing your heart that perhaps you're just imagining things. No, that's the emotional confusion she's weaving around you. She sees the brilliance within you, illuminating your every thought with her admiration. You're not losing your mind, my friend. In a moment of clarity, you followed the path laid before you, only to find someone challenging your instincts. They suggested that such a response should wait until every doubt was erased, every whisper of breach of trust confirmed. But deep down, you knew the truth. She had woven a web of dishonesty. How could they not see it? Come on, seriously. Hey, it seems I'll be caught in the embrace of work a little longer today. I'll see you later, my dear. But wait, you're not even at work yet. You're at a stranger's home, and it feels like a breach of trust, a whisper of doubt lingering in the air. Yet, the one who spoke those words acknowledged that perhaps Opie's instincts are indeed spot on, a flicker of truth amidst the uncertainty. She will always refute the connection, leaving Opie to question his own heart. Without a doubt. That's why you must let her go, keep your distance. She'll weave her tales and distort the truth, leaving you questioning your own reality, wondering if perhaps you're the one who's lost your way. Perhaps I find myself feeling uncertain. But you must continue your journey, embracing the path ahead. She no longer exists in your world, a memory from the past, forever out of reach. She is but a whisper in the wind, a fleeting thought that dances just out of reach. Someone once murmured that reality is not always as it seems. Of course. In the delicate dance of trust, one must tread carefully. Seek the truth within the shadows, for those who stray often weave tales that can shatter hearts. A journey towards clarity begins with a simple step, knowing your own health is a promise to yourself. Continue to embrace your journey, letting her fade into the background as you shine brightly. Thank you. Don't let your heart sink if her friends don't reach out to you with calls or messages. Without a doubt, without a doubt. It seems she's been entangled with someone, a figure whose identity remains a mystery to me. Perhaps a colleague, or just a fleeting stranger. It's often a telling sign when someone is so captivated, pouring their heart into every post, and yet, here I stand, unaware of this new presence in her life. She has kept this secret about him close to her heart. In the tapestry of my memories, I never claimed he was just a childhood friend. Yet, there was something about him that stirred a sense of concern within you, a wise instinct that led you to worry. And then, like a twist of fate, you uncovered the secrets of his whereabouts, discovering where he called home. In the shadows of trust, he spun a tale of late hours at work, yet her heart was drawn to his home. Whispers of dishonesty lingered in the air, as a friend revealed her private meeting with a co-worker, hidden from your gaze. If, and only if, her intentions were pure, why not share her need to visit his place? The truth, like a fragile thread, seemed to unravel, suggesting that in the realm of lies, something precious was concealed. Another voice echoed the sentiment, a mix of admiration and disbelief at the unfolding drama. They will share a story, a beautiful narrative to cloak the truth of their actions. They are masters of this art. They will plead, desperate for understanding, their voices trembling with false sincerity. Yet, deep down, their hearts remain unchanged, continuing their dance with their beloved as if nothing had ever happened. Indeed, she continues to weave her enchanting spell around him. In this moment, they are likely entwined in each other's arms, sharing whispers and dreams. In the midst of a complicated situation, you found yourself facing her dishonesty. Though the evidence was elusive, the truth shimmered just beneath the surface, revealing her untruths. With a heart heavy yet resolute, you decided it was time to let go, to fade into the shadows and embrace a new beginning. Let it be, my dear. Refrain from glancing at the past, let the present unfold its magic. It hasn't been easy, dear one, and the pain will linger for some time. Yet, in the traces of sadness, there lies a glimmer of hope. Imagine the path that could have unfolded, where she continued her journey with another, leaving you to watch from afar, your heart heavy as you gazed at the life that could have been. Just a gentle reminder, should doubts begin to creep in. Search for the enchanting pick-me dance. Absolutely. Someone said this is pure treasure. You truly excelled, without any need for the complexities of reconciliation or forgiveness. For those significant others, you will be just fine without her. Without a doubt. Life was flowing smoothly until she entered the scene. You'll find your way after her. You held the keys to your home. In the midst of your journey, she entered your life, bringing with her a whirlwind of turbulence. Her actions, once cloaked in charm, revealed a darker side, and now she must face the repercussions of her choices. No longer entwined in your story, she has become a distant memory. A voice of support echoed, acknowledging your strength and clarity in this moment. Dishonesty lingered in her words, but your instincts guided you through the fog. The only reply she warrants now is the quiet of your resolve. But wait, pause for a moment. In the midst of my thoughts, I found myself neglecting to seek out any news from him. Let me take a moment to explore this. Yes, there's an update, 2 updates, in fact. Let's dive into these new revelations, starting with the first one. It was a moment that felt like the turning of a page in a bittersweet tale. She appeared, a memory from my past, just as I returned from my parents' home. In a moment of vulnerability, I decided to leave a letter, carefully taped to the door. Each word flowed from my heart, revealing the depths of my sorrow and the weight of my dreams. I poured out my soul, sharing how she had shattered my world, how I had envisioned a future where I would ask for her hand in marriage, and how I would have given everything for her. In my wildest dreams, I never imagined she could bring such heartache, especially to someone like me. I sealed the letter with a heavy heart, hoping against hope that I had erred, that perhaps I had misinterpreted every word. I longed for you to offer undeniable proof that it was all just a figment of my imagination, a mere misunderstanding on my part. In a moment of vulnerability, I reached out to her, seeking the gentle reassurance that my space would be honored, allowing me the time to heal and find my way forward. Yet, as dawn broke, The letter I had poured my heart into had vanished, leaving me with a sense of longing and uncertainty. My heart feels light and free. Words were unnecessary between us. A sense of relief washed over you as she received that letter, and you found yourself yearning for her to respond with a playful tale. You imagined her weaving an intricate story, claiming she was simply engaged in a game of Monopoly with a co-worker. The memory of her previous fib about being at work lingered in your mind. Come on now, let's see what else unfolds in this narrative. So his other update feels like a bittersweet farewell. In this moment, I find myself filled with hope, yearning to see the strength that has carried us through. Thank you, dear ones, for your unwavering support. Your words of encouragement have wrapped around me like a warm embrace, and I cherish each sentiment shared along this journey. It has genuinely made a difference. Kindly take a moment to explore my other post. It has undoubtedly been a challenging few weeks. But with each passing day, my heart swells with certainty about the choice I've made. It's a beautiful journey of moving forward, isn't it? It feels as though he yearns for her to share a story, to whisper sweet nothings that dance around the truth. Yet, let us explore the moments that unfolded in the days that followed, a week after she held my letter close to her heart. It began with a call from one of her friends, a gentle inquiry that felt like a soft breeze stirring the stillness. Her ex-girlfriend, it seemed, was lost in a sea of emotions, adrift and distraught. This dear friend, however, was unaware of the depths of our parting, knowing only that we had said goodbye. With a heart open to sharing, I recounted the tale of our love, laying bare the details that had led us to this moment. She listened with sympathy, her understanding wrapping around me like a warm embrace. In the days that followed, messages and calls from more of her friends trickled in, each one a lifeline, a reminder that I was not alone in this storm. They offered words of comfort, asking if I needed anything, while others expressed their shock, echoing the confusion that lingered in the air. What had happened to our once beautiful story? It seems the whispers of our past have reached familiar ears, and the air feels lighter among our shared friends. Just last week, a dear companion shared the news that my former love has returned to her roots. Her brief chapter away was fraught with uncertainty, and now, she finds herself a good 2-hour journey from where I stand. The thought of her no longer being a part of my daily life brings a sense of peace, and she has yet to reach out, leaving the pages of our story quietly turned. I have also opened the door to my past by removing restrictions my ex-girlfriend's numbers on social media. What could have compelled you to take such a step? It's not that I'm yearning for her to reach out, I simply wish to stand openly, without any barriers between us. No, I can't accept that. I'm afraid there's no grand tale here. I hold on to the hope that this perceived setback has somehow elevated my standing among my friends. If nothing else, I still possess my pride. Farewell, my dear. I must say, seeing you move on was quite something beautiful. She was kept at a distance, hidden away from your heart. What made you decide to let her back in? My heart hesitates to embrace the wall. In a moment of vulnerability, I chose to remove the barriers that kept us apart. It was clear from your previous words that you yearned for her reassurance, seeking validation for the doubts that cloud your mind. Yet, that path leads to uncertainty, and it's not a place where love can flourish. I understand. In a moment filled with dreams of forever, you found yourself on the brink of a beautiful commitment, ready to ask her to be yours for all time. Yet, in a twist of fate, she revealed a truth that shattered those dreams, showing you that she wasn't the one to share your life with. In her own way, she set you free. Now, it's time to turn the page and see what others have to say about this journey. In a moment of reflection, I find myself caught in a mix of emotions. Someone has echoed my thoughts, quoting the very words that linger in my mind. I've taken a step, removing restrictions my ex-girlfriend's number, not out of longing for her call, but to embrace honesty and transparency. Yet, a voice warns me, suggesting that perhaps this path is fraught with peril. Oh, darling, please. It's important to be genuine with us, don't you think? Or perhaps you're trying to convince yourself otherwise. In a moment of clarity, you choose to distance yourself, erasing her presence from your life. Only then will the truth of your feelings reveal themselves. The moment has come to embrace the next chapter of your journey. Without a doubt, you find yourself yearning for her to reach out, perhaps to share a story that dances on the edge of truth. In this moment, her mind is a whirlwind, tangled in thoughts that refuse to form into anything grand. She finds herself caught in a delicate dance with that coworker, a connection that pulls at her heartstrings, leaving her both exhilarated and uncertain. She's entangled in a mix of emotions with that coworker, lost in a maze of thoughts that don't quite add up. She whispered to you about working late, yet found herself in another man's embrace. The excuses elude her, and every other line feels hollow. But what could it possibly be? We chose to dive into the world of Call of Duty, a realm where words fell away, and actions spoke volumes. There's nothing she could say to change that, no justification needed. Yet, when I mentioned your longing to hear from her, it became clear. That was the true reason you unblocked her. Deep down, you knew it. Be honest with yourself. Without a doubt, I can sense the confusion in your heart. It's clear that you see through the false appearance, and I understand your feelings all too well. As I mentioned, your heart was completely entwined with hers. The revelation was a jolt, a twist in the tale you never anticipated. You believed in her, in the bond you shared, yet she shattered that trust, leaving you in pain, questioning your own sanity. The decision to end the relationship feels like a necessary step, a way to protect your emotions from further anguish. Your happiness now hinges on her absence, allowing her to fade into a distant memory, a chapter closed. Whatever destiny awaits her is no longer your burden to bear. The only future that matters is the one you carve out for yourself. So, savor every moment. Absolutely, you're speaking of a friend who, in a twist of fate, returned to the comforting embrace of her mother. She's a good 2 hours away. What does it matter what she's up to? She has faded from your heart, just as you painted the picture. They embraced your doubts without hesitation. Moreover, your beloved hasn't made any effort to reassure you. Indeed, she never suggested you reach out to the other man, who would have claimed that nothing was happening, while she quietly sought to uncover your thoughts. Do you believe she was truly unaware of the reasons behind your separation? Without a doubt. She sensed that the friends were all too aware of the unspoken truths. Why wouldn't her beloved inquire with your beloved about the reasons behind their separation? Imagining a world where the one you cherish might be hiding secrets from you. It seems to emerge. She hesitated, her heart racing at the thought of sharing her secret with her beloved. In a moment of breach of trust, she confessed her confusion about the end of their love. He, with a hint of melancholy, simply stated where he had chosen to wait. I'm convinced that my former love kept the reasons for our parting a secret from everyone. It seems that her friend reached out to me for a reason that tugs at the heartstrings. In the silence that lingers between us, I find myself reflecting on her absence. She hasn't reached out, nor has she sought to explain the shadows that have crept into our story. Perhaps she feels the weight of her circumstances, the sting of having to return to her mother's embrace, a place she wishes to escape. Her heart longs for the sanctuary of the home you've built, where your presence fills the rooms and your care nurtures every corner. It's there, in that cherished space, that she yearns to remain. And so, she gathers her friends, hoping they can weave words that might sway my heart to understand her plight. This is utterly enchanting. It feels surreal, almost like a dream unfolding before my eyes. You two seemed like a match made in heaven. But hey, don't let your heart lead you astray, my friend. Simply create a barrier. You must also shield yourself from their friends. Why do you find yourself drawn to them? There's no need to reach out to her or her circle. It seems someone mentioned they were eager for news, and now it appears she has revealed her truth by choosing silence and moving on. Well done. Oh, how I long to share a moment with you over a cold beer, just the two of us, lost in conversation and laughter. Absolutely. And on that note, dear friends, share your thoughts on this one in the comments. It's quite the tale, isn't it? If you ask me, is there, patiently waiting, longing for her to return, hoping she'll come back to him. He yearns for her to return, but that desire feels misguided. Embrace the journey ahead, let your spirit soar as you chase your dreams and nurture your own growth. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this, so share them in the comments below. Until we meet again, my friends.